Temu, the app you open when you want to find a crazy deal on something you
didn't really want in the first place. That's enough small talk. I got scammed by Temu. Twice. I'm legitimately still mad thinking about it. I'm going to walk you through 2 different times I got scammed by Temu. One of which is this very order.
We'll walk through the entire order process and every scummy thing that I ran into before we actually unbox it on camera.
The second scam was them straight up stealing money from not only me, but others.
And I have proof that they did it. It was also probably one of the most frustrating customer support experiences I've ever had.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Welcome to Temu. That's right, the first scam is just Temu being Temu.
I actually bought this order here just to show this very scam, except I actually didn't. I can't even pretend that I bought this for a nobler purpose.
I was tricked into buying those deals while on the Temu app.
Let's start from the beginning.
For those who don't know, I buy cheap instruments for this channel and review them. That's a large part of what I do here, and Temu has been one of the places I frequent to find these cheapo instruments. I've gotten some okay deals in the past on their marketplace, and I make a point to check there when I'm thinking of getting something for the channel.
So let's quickly talk about the scam I didn't fall for on the way to the one that I did.
So that morning, I pulled up Temu to check the prices on some instruments I've been tracking to see if there were any price drops.
I opened the Temu app and almost immediately am greeted by a spin the wheel to get $300 pop-up promo thing. And guess what? I spun it and I won.
And not only did I win, but I was upgraded because I'm a loyal user.
And after that, I find these little mystery coupons hidden amongst the other products that make my winnings even bigger yet.
Okay, let's slow down here for a second. We need to talk about what just happened.
I opened up a marketplace to look at instruments and was greeted with psychological warfare. The wheels spin, you're actually guaranteed to win the jackpot every time.
It says right there in the fine print that's currently being covered up by the little hand down there.
And for those who don't know, the little coupon bundles you get on Temu are actually their own little brand of scam. Searching online for Temu coupon bundles shows others who are confused and asking for clarification on how to actually get those bundles.
Worse yet, people reply as if this is somehow completely obvious information.
So where is that info that's so obviously placed for you?
It's not in the rules. I checked there first. Oh, it's this little question mark hidden next to the dollar amount where it finally lays out the real information.
First of all, you need to make a purchase to even gain these so-called coupons. Second, you only get to use these coupons in small amounts, such as $20 off a $140 purchase, which means you're spending even more money just to use the prize you had to spend money on to get in the first place.
And if you think to yourself, well, duh, that's just Temu.
I'd like to point out that even if you're too smart to fall into that trap, they do it because it works. We shouldn't be giving this kind of predatory marketing a pass. And the moment that scammy marketing does catch someone, they're likely to buy more because they think they aren't getting their full value if they don't,
even when it's not the deal they thought it was to begin with.
Personally, I think a bait and switch like this should be illegal.
It's not about what the terms say or the hidden fine print.
You know what they're trying to do. It's like they pulled up the consumer protection laws and figured out exactly how far they could push it without technically breaking the law.
This fake gambling for fake perceived prizes shouldn't be legal.
I know I've personally wasted a bunch of time choosing all of my different items in their little thing to get my coupons, going all the way to the checkout screen before realizing that I actually wasn't going to be getting a deal that I thought I was. But I didn't fall for that scam this time. No, sir. I fell for a different one. So I'm creeping on the home screen when I see a trumpet, and it says $0 next to it, 100% off, and then just says get. It even has a fancy graphic on it with flying presents. So I know I will not be getting a free trumpet from Temu. I'm not an idiot. It does lightly say with qualifying orders on it, but I'm still curious enough to click on it. So I do. I'm taken to a screen where not only do you get the free trumpet, but I get a total of 6 freebies that I get to pick out.
So I spend a not insignificant amount of time picking out my free items before I'm finally pulled into a screen that shows me that to actually get my free items, I have to spend a minimum of $75 first.
Bait, meat switch. Not only that, but I have to buy items specifically on this little page that they give me. I'm not even allowed to search on my own. Oh, and there's a timer, and I have to act now or else my deal will expire.
So I end up choosing a mandolin and a saxophone stand, both things that I don't need, but at least they get me as close to possible to the $75.
I mean, how many manipulative things can one transaction possibly throw at you?
And don't even get me started on the ridiculous MSRP of these items or the 100% back through scam coupons I'm supposedly getting on the stuff that's actually costing me money.
All things I don't need. And you wanna know the worst part? At one point, I actually backed out to the home screen because I wanted to see if I could find more information on the deal. And when I went back to my cart, the deal was gone. The price had now gone from $77 to $157. And you wanna know something? I was bummed. At this point, I was locked in to buy it. I mean, surely I could figure out a way to make a YouTube video about the Trumpet, even though I had already essentially made that same video.
And even though a Trumpet wasn't something that was even on my list of items to look for to begin with.
But the deal was so good. I mean, look at all these boxes. So after mourning a bit over the loss of the instruments I didn't want in the first place, I stumbled upon another $0 100% off get item on my home screen. So of course I click it, and lo and behold, there are all my previous items still waiting for me. Now back to their glorious $77.
So I bought it.
Before we unbox these, I want to quickly talk about how Temu has tried to get me, a creator, and other creators like me to do their dirty work for them. So I have a Pulse and a YouTube channel, so of course Temu has reached out to me in the past. And their emails basically always start in the same way.
They start out by flattering you in a non-specific way
so that they can reuse the email to other creators. And then they try to get you to collaborate with them on advertising. Typically, they want to send you free Temu crap, and you can make content about how great it is. In this specific case, I was actually emailed 3 times by my friend Mujin from Temu. I ghosted them for the first 2 times as I have a zero interest in collaborating with Temu, but the 3rd time I figured I'd email them back.
See, I'd just fallen victim to the second scam in this video, which we'll get to. So I told my pal Mujin that I'd be willing to discuss a collaboration if they helped me to get to the bottom of the scam I fell victim to on their platform.
I laid out the scam and I discussed how I couldn't promote a platform where customers can be scammed with no recourse. I figure it's a win-win, right? I get to help them figure out a weak point in their system, and they get a mad music collaboration. I mean, they were incredibly impressed with my engaging content and strong connection I share with my audience. So I sent it, and wouldn't you know, Mujin never emailed me back. Even on YouTube itself, Temu is swaying creators to try to get them to advertise for their platform to the unsuspecting.
Take this pop-up I received while back in my YouTube studio where I get the chance to earn $2,500. And all I have to do is make a short where I tell you about the $0 items you can get from Temu right now. A $0 item. You see, use this code to receive a $0 item. Is it weird that I keep saying $0 item? That's because on top of being energetic and over the top, and including a small text warning about how it's only for new users, we also get the requirement that we shouldn't use the word free in the video. It can be replaced with $0, no money, 100% off.
I wonder why that is. Is it possibly because free falls under a more stringent guideline for consumer protections than $0?
Guidelines that make it so you wouldn't legally be allowed to say that an item is free without also stating that it's only free with qualifying purchase?
Something tells me that if I was to give that disclaimer in my short, I probably wouldn't be getting the $2,500. Now, to contrast all this, I'd like to show you how a YouTube ad should be presented by an ethical company selling an ethical product. Every month, Sweetwater Music sends out an email to their affiliates that show different opportunities for brands that are looking for for sponsorships. Last month's email had the PreSonus Studio Live SE16 mixer listed, and after doing some research on it, I discovered that not only was it something that I personally had a need for, but I would be comfortable being sponsored by the brand and talking about the product. So I submitted my pitch for them, where I told them I'd be willing to do an ad read for it, and then gave my price for doing so. They agreed to my price, and here it is. This is our sponsor, the Studio Live Series 3 SE16. This is the 16 channel version. There is also a 24 and a 32. I was actually having a difficult time figuring out what to do to talk about this sponsor because it just does so much. I'm just gonna run down a couple of my favorite features. First of all, this thing has motorized faders, so you can actually wirelessly control it through a computer or tablet. Every single one of these channels has its own EQ, gate, compressor, and limiter built right in. My favorite's the gate because it allows me to record in this room without having to worry about my heater making noise for once. It also has effects built right in, so for example, I can come over to my effects channel and turn up my large hall reverb, or go to a separate channel and turn up my delay. Effects. And all of my stuff works seamlessly as an audio interface for my DAW. I've only had this thing now for a couple weeks, and I'm still finding things that are not only really cool, but they legitimately help me in my workflow. I would like to thank PreSonus for sponsoring this video. If you want to check out the Studio Live SE16 or one of its larger siblings, head over to sweetwatermusic.com. You won't find this on Temu. Let's unbox my stuff. So we'll just take this one at a time, and we're gonna go pretty quick because a lot of this is worthless anyways. It was free. I got a little baggie. Not gonna lie to you, this looks a lot smaller than I thought it was going to in the product picture. Item number 2. How do I look? Ooh. All right, this one was 3 things sent in one package. I got some little, kitty maracas. And I got finger cymbals. I think this was a pair of earbuds. And once again, earbuds that I don't need, but they were kind of just, one of the options. I don't know, they fit fine. I don't really want to take the time to pair them because I already have earbuds. But what the heck, they're free. Ooh la la. All right, now we got to the big stuff. Floor music instrument stand. This is one of the things that I did spend money on. Let's check out the quality. It's kind of dark in this room when you're wearing sunglasses. I'm not looking at the instructions, so. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. Kind of pretty. I don't know. I think I paid like 20 bucks for it, but I didn't need it. Holds at least a tenner. I'm assuming that this is gonna be the mandolin. I paid money for it. I don't play the mandolin. I definitely don't need one. I'm not gonna make a video about it on this channel. I'm gonna lose the glasses. I can't see. Let me cut a string. Don't even know what they're tuned to. I should tune it. Mandolin. I got it to tune up, surprisingly enough, and I know nothing about mandolins to be able to recommend it. This is typically the point of video where I would show you an instrument like that and I would be like, well, it at least kind of plays and it's really cheap and you could throw it on your wall. But the thing about this is I did not want that instrument to begin with. What I wanted was that instrument. So let's find out if I actually got my free trumpet, or excuse me, $0 trumpet. Here's my trumpet case. I'm not going to spend my usual amount of time looking through here because I don't care. I don't even remember what brand they put on this thing. The Yinfente is what this says. Is that what the order said? I don't know. Well, thankfully, no matter what else we can say about this, I got the white gloves. Here's the trumpet. If anyone wants to know my first trumpet unboxing, go check out that video so you can maybe compare the differences. My cheapo Amazon one was $63, which is a little bit cheaper, but of course, with this one, I got all that extra stuff along with it. How can you put a price to it? The extra stuff you don't actually want when you ordered the thing you do want. And I didn't even really want a trumpet. So I've got another mouthpiece now. That's nice. The mouthpiece works. Let's check it out. Ba-doon-doon-doon-doon-doon. Again, I'm not gonna spend a ton of time on this because that's not what the video is about. Valves seem to be working okay. Is there even a brand? I think this trumpet is actually brandless. Can't seem to find a brand on it anywhere. That's kind of unique, I guess. When you looked at my cheapo Amazon one, it was a Mendini, and they at least threw that on the bell there for you. Let's try it out. All right, well, I can't say anything about the longevity of this trumpet, but I mean, honestly, for whatever money I spent on it, it's fine for now. And the horn sounds fine. So that's what I got. The three things I actually spent money on, the stand, the mandolin, and then, the trumpet, actually turned out to be sort of okay, but none of that changes the fact that I basically got tricked into buying them all in the first place. But if you're the type of person to go, that's not a scam, that's just how online shopping works, don't worry, because the second scam is so much worse. So one day I'm looking on Temu, and on this occasion I'm trying to check out bassoon prices. If you didn't know, bassoons are typically multiple $1,000 instruments. That's just what they cost. But in my Temu searching in the past, I've been able to find them for around $700 to $800. Now that's a crazy deal already, but not enough for me to justify buying one just to make a video of it on YouTube, because I'd probably lose money on it. So this day I'm flipping through and I happen upon one for $80. $80. $80. I immediately bought it. There wasn't much thinking involved. I figured even if I could get something shaped like a bassoon, it would make for a pretty interesting YouTube video. Or worst case scenario, it would either not ship, in which case I get a refund, or they send me something that's not a bassoon and I get a refund. Up until this point, I've actually had pretty good luck with Temu support. A support bot previously fully refunded me for this tenor saxophone that didn't work correctly out of the box, and I got to keep the sax. Turns out I was underestimating Temu, but we'll get there. So shortly after ordering, I was sent my tracking number. My bassoon was shipped. I actually went so far as to check the weight of the package, which said 10.1 pounds, which for all I knew sounded bassoon adjacent. It was going to my town? So far, so good. So the day finally arrives, the day it was supposed to be delivered. I legit made sure I was home just in case I had to sign for it. I finally get the notification. It was delivered. I run to the door, look outside, and nada. Nothing outside. I look around my front drive, nothing. And at this point, I kind of crept around my neighbors' houses to see if there was any bassoon-looking packages, and there's nothing there either. So I open up FedEx and check out my tracking number and see a picture of the front of the house my package was delivered to. And I see that it's not my house. Also, funnily enough, there's no package in the photo. At this point, I think the package must have been accidentally dropped off at someone else's house in my town. So I do what any other sane person would do. I drive around my neighborhood looking for a big package sitting outside a house with a garage door that looks like it does in the picture. If I sound like a not sane person at this point, it's because I was unreasonably excited to get that bassoon. I had even purchased nice reeds for it. This package has been sitting unopened in my house for about a year now. See what a bassoon reed looks like. Reed works good. I stupidly, actually, thought it was going to come. So with my drive not giving any results, I decided to call up FedEx and see if I could track down where it was dropped off to so I could go get it. They told me that the tracking number that I had didn't match my address, and so I needed to contact Temu. So I did. First contact was through their app.
I told them the deal with FedEx and realized that speaking to a robot wasn't gonna help me, so I asked to speak to a human. Finally, after getting to speak to Naganaran, we escalated the issue up the chain and got the ball rolling on a solution.
Might I mention that at this point, everything was cordial. I was being very polite. Even though these type of situations can be frustrating, these are just human beings working a job, and there isn't any reason to be rude. Anyways, I'm still hopeful at this point that it was just a mistake. I even put reshipment instead of refund as my solution of choice because I figured maybe the bassoon was just lost. And obviously they'd be cool with sending me another one. With my ticket created, I started following up on an investigation of my own. After getting the photo of the house from FedEx, my wife had the idea to try Facebook to figure out if anyone actually recognized the house. We're a smallish town after all. To my absolute surprise, we actually track it down. Hope renewed, I hop in my car and I head to a stranger's house to explain my situation.
I get there and I'm greeted by the owners who thankfully were alerted that I was on my way.
And they look around their house with me at all their recent packages. But unfortunately, there's nothing bassoon-shaped among them. I leave them my phone number in case they find anything, and I go home defeated.
I honestly thought the bassoon was going to be randomly sitting outside some stranger's house waiting for me.
Within a few hours, I get a text from the house owner.
They actually sent me the footage from their camera of the package connected to my tracking number being delivered. Turns out, it was a shipment from Target. Either that or an Honest Co. box. What it wasn't was a bassoon. From Temu. Well, isn't that interesting?
I wake up the next morning to an email from Temu saying that to help them, I was supposed to check whether the FedEx delivery proof shows my package was successfully delivered.
Of course, I immediately reply that on their proof, there's no address and FedEx took a photo of a delivery at a house that wasn't mine.
On the next day, they reply that they are working super duper hard investigating into my issue. My satisfaction is their top priority, after all.
Another 2 days of waiting, and I receive a message from Kurtz, a customer resolution senior specialist.
Ooh la la. I can rest assured because their dedicated team is immediately on the case.
Another day goes by, and Kurtz shoots me another message saying that they need me to send photo proof of my house, including the house number.
At this point, I'm kind of excited because I think someone may actually be on the case. Why would they need this info if they weren't actually looking into it?
So of course, 9 minutes later, I had already taken multiple pictures of my house, including my driver's license, which proves the address is mine,
and sent that back to my buddy Kurtz. Now, in the meantime, I have been doing some research on Facebook to see if anyone else had run into this issue. I figured what better place to look than a Facebook group specifically for bassoon players. I joined the group and immediately started running into posts from others who had tried to purchase the same Temu bassoon that I did.
Some received guitar pedals, others received nothing at all. Nobody received a bassoon.
Some were at least lucky enough to get refunds from Temu, but there were others that couldn't even get a refund. Posts started to pop up about how to lodge complaints to different agencies about the scam. At this point, there's no questioning it. There was never going to be a bassoon. Next day, I receive a reply from my previous email.
After conducting a thorough investigation, we have confirmed that your package was delivered to the correct address. We hope you understand that we're unable to provide a reshipment or refund for your order. We kindly suggest that you check your mailbox around your house and any other possible locations where the package may have been delivered.
Sometimes packages can be left in unexpected places. Regards, Bendigo? What? Kurtz didn't even have the courtesy of being the one to break the news? I was livid. Oh God, I was livid. I immediately I was oh God. I was livid. I immediately emailed them back stating that this was This was unacceptable. At this point, I had paraded outside my house to prove that it wasn't the house that got the delivery, and somehow they still think I happened to miss a big cardboard box holding a freaking bassoon that must be outside my house somewhere. Not wanting to wait for an email, I immediately jumped back into chat and asked to speak to a human. John jumps in. I tell them that I want a refund. I tell John that I refuse to pay for an item that I didn't receive to a scammer. I was done at this point. I was on a mission, and there was a 0% chance that I was going to let a scammer run away with my money. They told me that my ticket is currently being followed up and that if I just give them 1% of my trust, they'll take care of the remaining 99%. What a line. I respond that I do not give my 1% trust. I need a refund. We going back and forth for a little bit with them telling me that they had now sent it to a higher level of support to work on it, with me wondering what they could possibly be looking into that we hadn't already gone over in previous emails. I point out that it's as simple as going into the store page from the seller and looking at the reviews that are now there, which state that this was a scam. I'm just going to post the conversation here. The too long didn't read here is, I'm mad, give me a refund now. Please forgive how I may have been a jerk to this customer support rep, as I'm typically very patient and kind to people in customer service. But I was absolutely done. I gave Temu all the proof that they could possibly ever want, and they still looked me in the face and said, no refund, look around your house. They had taken my money, gave a bunch of it to a scammer, and pocketed the rest. They led me on a wild goose chase around my town, gave me false hope that I'd actually get the item that I paid for. And then pulled the rug from me. And to reiterate, I was very excited for this bassoon. The false hope was real, folks. When you want something enough, you can very easily be blinded to the obvious trickery at play. Here is some of the texts between my wife and myself during this ordeal, where I was legitimately in a bad mood because of the whole situation. I lost sleep over this. And the worst thing about the whole situation, after all of this, I was sure the failsafe of free returns you get from Temu and other marketplaces was always going to be there if it turned out to be nothing. But here I was, sitting at the end of a blatant scam, and Temu gave me the middle finger. So I waited one more day after John reassured me that Temu's higher support was super duper on it. Received another email from them saying they wouldn't do anything because their investigation found that the package must still be outside my house somewhere. And then I went nuclear. I went to my credit card company, issued a chargeback on the purchase, and within minutes, got my money back. Thank you to my credit card. Doing this ran the possibility that Temu could actually close my account and I could be barred from shopping there ever again. But I was not about to give money to a scammer. Months go by, my account is still there, my order history still shows a bassoon as being delivered. But funnily enough, I actually got a notification from my Temu order page that says the seller may have provided the incorrect tracking number. You think? We are contacting them to correct it. We have compensated you a $33.66 credit in total as an apology for all the packages with this problem. So they figured out the scammer scammed me, gave me a $33 Temu credit out of my $83 order, and were contacting the seller to fix it. That was months ago. It's been over a year since I ordered this bassoon, but I'm sure Temu is still working really hard on contacting the seller, which no longer exists on Temu, by the way. So, what did I learn? You can get stuff on Temu, and some of it can actually be a pretty good deal, but you better bet that it's gonna be a gamble. In my previous videos, I had always said something like, well, free 30-day return, so if it doesn't work out, just send it back. Turns out, that's not always the case. And in this case, I would have lost money had I not taken matters into my own hands. And even with that, it was a huge pain in the butt, and it took me ages to get it sorted. If anyone's wondering, this isn't just Temu. I've run into something pretty recently with Amazon and a trombone I was planning to make a video on. I tried ordering an AliExpress Barry saxophone for about $600, and the seller immediately contacted me saying that I had to cancel it because it was out of stock. This was after my payment went through. But man, this shouldn't even be possible. Why is this even a thing? We can all look at each other and go, duh, Temu's a huge scam, as if it's just a known thing, but like, that shouldn't be okay. We shouldn't be able to jump onto the second largest marketplace in the world and be forced to have our scam goggles on. Because if terrible Temu sales tactics weren't enough, they might just straight up steal your money. I guess the thing to do is to just quit using it. Thanks to PreSonus and Sweetwater for sponsoring this video. Go check out Sweetwater if you want to see what online shopping should look like. Real support from real humans selling actual products that really exist. If you enjoyed this video, go down, hit like and subscribe, and feel free to check out my Patreon. It's likely going to be the only hope I'll ever have of getting a bassoon on this channel because, as it turns out, they're more expensive than $80. Who knew?
All the things stated in this video are just my opinion. Please don't sue me. Don't sue me. This is all my own experiences. I didn't even have $80 to spend on a scammer. I really can't go into a lawsuit. But also, it's like happened.